Hmm. 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 Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Hmm. 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 Absolutely.
You go to the village and distribute 1,000 naira to your imagine. You know? And after that, their own children are either in Cambridge or Harvard. Do well. As the elementary boys grew up, they found out that when it is time for the old man to now be replaced, it is children who are abroad, who are studying, that will come and replace them. So they look at it and say, it's like the problem we have here is this book is Western education, and it is around. That's what give back to your race. They are reaping the fruit of what they have sown, and it's not working. Even the other president before Buhari came and said, let's educate. Said, no, it's not correct. You didn't consult them. That's not how to operate education in Alimandiri area. Well, when I imagine Alimandiri, the world has become a global village. Their own children don't have any problem. There's no education for places in the UK or America when they go to school. But now about the bundle, imagine, children who are doing up every day. It is the failure of leadership and leadership system that they are culture who the children of the driver to be able to get some education, which is anything that has helped us. So education and real religion.
If we ratify the letters or nullify the letters that were sent by beauty. Number two,
because of that cultural Moses, it has taken over education, it has subdued religion and put it under and classified it as mediocrity. And that's somewhere our leaders are. So for me, culture and behavior is very important. Such that even there's what we call culture dancing related to cultural events. In terms of culture, using mass mental illness. The way we are ruling ourselves is mental illness. I mean, what we call leadership today is mental illness. If our culture permits it, then they say, let us go and pray. Some will say, there's nothing we can do. These people live amongst us. There's culture ban syndrome. So I call the rulership problem a culture ban syndrome because it cannot exist outside the shores of Nigeria. When the same people who are doing this get elected in abroad, they are not going to behave that way. Because that trait they've already interrogated their culture and developed another technique. So we move on to the brain of the people that is not ready to move forward and interrogate culture and develop new templates that is frozen at that level, reinforced by religion, reinforced by superstition and myth and taboos. That is the brain of our society. That's what I call my own cultural thing. And I feel that the only way forward is let's start from the home. People should stop using patriarchy to bring up children. Our wives too should stop using feminism because it's a reaction of the West. There's nothing like feminism, there's nothing like patriarchy. Human rights, let us turn to each other. It's culture, there is universal culture that prescribes you must be fair to the other as you are also fair to them. If you are fair to them, they'll be fair to you. But when you are not ready to be fair, and all you are interested in to be opportunistic, then there's going to be a problem. Unfortunately, this woman also have a lot of things in my marriage here. Families are also disagree here. Because there's Western incursion through globalization into our culture and it's dismantling it. And that's what that boy, those boys, that's the signal. But before we get there, see how people are squandering and looting our treasure. That's how the Oba used to do in those days. You will take over people's property, you will take over somebody's wife, and there's no mechanism emanating from the masses to challenge this man. Even his son can easily do the same. Like you have here. Most of the boys who are reckless and do anything they like here are children of our leaders here, and nobody can do anything. We know where they live. Not that when you get hungry a little bit, we run to them and beg them. Because a part of our culture also says that are deities that need to be worshipped. So culture ban syndrome also says that this mental illness, you may not agree with mental illness, is limited to your cultural belt. Which means culture is so potent that you can have its own form of mental illness even if you are not ready to accept it because you are having global presence. There's no reason why Nigeria should be doing it, but our leaders, after fighting for independence, have leveraged on culture to destroy this nation. Because leadership is just that skill that you need to bring out the best, not only for yourself, but for others. But here, we don't have people That mindset
Thank you. My name is Olusho Ekele of the 1996. This is a venture to unleash something called a chatbot. There are people who already
and nobody's going to call.
options and needs to be
People say that
amended.
let them
Needs to
the
be added.
American constitution.
So I am just saying that even though we have the chatbot, we not just
cultural lens to interpret.
yes, please.
My brother, I want
Can we just look at the chat box and put those notions as well into the
Nigeria is
amendments?
not moving forward. And until we begin to, I don't know, we begin to think like this at the family level, church, mosque, the people who go to represent us in Abuja begin to think in this way, we are not going to go anywhere. All things we have to stop. And next time we become a little more organized and they take us out. For me, that's the way. Because if you cannot think and say this is fair to all, not just me, they are going to start to talk. And teach you about from where people because I feel like come before. Somebody like I think we're learning too slowly. We need to go through the number of years they went through before we begin to learn what is good. So this is my own concern, Mr. Commentator. And I want people to agree with me on this.
Sir, you're always a class act. As always, I could listen to you all day. It's just been you're a class act as usual. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I'm gonna allow one or two comments. First of all, one or two questions, contributions, critiques of the position you've taken, and then we'll come back to you, sir, because we still need you to explain certain other things that for I believe the last time there were quite a few questions, a few people asked for further clarifications on a number of areas, so we'll be pointing that out. So I'm gonna go to our panel for today. Let me welcome who is my senior as well, my respected senior, Igor. Bros, you're very welcome to this webinar. It is a pleasure to have you here. Let's recognize him. So that's Mr. Daniel Lubajaka. It's a pleasure having you. Do you want to unmute yourself and say something, sir? Tunde Owosheni. Myself and him, we've attended several meetings together. So, in the past, yes, in the past. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It's God, and I have quite a lot of powerful people in the background, who do all the work in the background. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you. We hope to see more of you, Mr. Daniel Lubajaka. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Well done. Well done. Let's also recognize Ms. Bisola Oshagbemi. Ms. Bisola Oshagbemi. Let's just hear from you as well. Ms. Bisola Oshagbemi, if you just unmute yourself. No, she's there. I think she might be struggling to unmute. Ms. Oshagbemi, unmute yourself. Okay, we can always come back to her. We can always come back. I believe Dr. Nelson Ekujumi of LASU is back. Dr. Ekujumi, he's been struggling with the connection as well. He's been in and out. Dr. Ekujumi, if you can unmute. Okay, we'll come back to them later. Let's just have a few contributions to this, and then we'll go back to Dr. Oyewole. Let's have Prince Ogochukwu Oji. Okay. Yeah. Dr. Ekujumi, go on, sir. Go on. Proceed, sir. Hello, Dr. Ekujumi. Okay, let's go. He's been struggling with his connection. Let's hear let's hear. Oh, Mister. Okay, okay. Apologies. Okay.
Wonderful. I'm listening to even though we had a problems with the internet, and I think you are speaking very well.
Yes, sir.
The issue really is that at times when people are spread spirituality to issues of man engagement, people like us when we question them, we live in a society whereby we are pushed spirituality for everything.
Yes, sir.
Even when you want to read, you want to read, people will be able to observe some certain like I see there's a spirit behind the food, divide the food from going into your mouth and settling in your stomach. But being that as it may, the information of Dr. Adeoye Oyewole is very, very apt to our society. Because time and time again, I've always had this engagement with fellow countrymen that look, I just at times I ask myself, is there something wrong with us as a people? That what people get right in other climes, immediately we get here, we're something else entirely. Is it a product of culture of lawlessness? Because there's that because when you look at some of these things that are working in other crimes, and you put them on the front burner, people will never say, oh, those things are never happening, are never working. As if you do a DNA of a person, the result will tell you that this is the DNA of a Nigerian or this is the DNA of a Ghanaian. Because we are all human beings. But I believe one of the greatest problems we have in this life is the culture of lawlessness that has come to be part and parcel of our lives. Because people don't believe that as citizens and their leaders, people believe that the responsibility for orderliness, the responsibility for progress, the responsibility for development in society, the rest only with the leaders, which some of us have always acknowledged that it shouldn't be so. Everybody has a responsibility to perform one role or the other in society. And I think as we go on with continuous engagement with our people, along the line we'll be able to change that line of thinking. And we'll start at this community change because like some of us have come to agree we cannot give up on Nigeria. It is impossible because we have no other country but this our own. And we owe it to generations coming to leave our society better than we met. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ekuchumi. It's such a pleasure having you here. I will at some point. I definitely will be contacting you. Mr. Ekuchumi, thank you so much. At some point, Comrade Ekuchumi, I'll be contacting you. Dr. Oyewole has brought quite a lot of resource persons here. At some point, we'll also be contacting you to speak with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ekuchumi. I really want to thank you for that submission. That was really, really, and all of a sudden, I am struggling with calling you Mr. I think doctor actually said comrade. You spoke like a comrade. You didn't speak like a Mr. The way you went about it, and I love those submissions. And I can assure you, at some point, we would love to get in touch with you again. Dr. Oyewole has brought a lot of fantastic resource persons here, and I believe would want. Wow. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Comrade Ekuchumi, can you just please expatiate on that? You talked about the culture of lawlessness. Mr. Comrade Ekuchumi. Oh, he's actually there. I think it's his connection again. I will come back to him once he's ready. We'll actually take him. But let me go to quite a few of the panelists for today and get their views on this. And Comrade Ekujimi, as soon as your connection is okay, please unmute yourself and let's hear from you again. Let's just hear from a few of our panelists here today. Prince Ugochukwu Oji, can we have you first? Prince Oji. Miss Comrade Ekuchumi, are you back now? Okay, let's have Prince Oji. Prince Oji, let's hear from you on this. Oh, okay. So please, can you explain? Doctor has asked, what do you mean by the culture of lawlessness? Comrade Ekuchumi. Okay, I think. Yeah. Doctor has asked, what do you mean by the culture of lawlessness? Can you please expatiate on it? The culture of lawlessness that you referred to. Okay, I'm really not. Yeah, I think the connection is bad. So, okay, go on. Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. I think he's really struggling with this. The internet connection is really bad. So I think he's really struggling. We'll come back to him on this. I think his connection is really just so we can take a few more people. We'll still come back to him. Okay. Tolu Lokpefawole, let's hear from you on this. What are your views on this? So Tolu Fawole, or let's start with our SecGen. Comrade Shola Fayemi, let's start with you. Comrade Shola Fayemi, let's start with you. That's another person where the connection we can't be too sure. So yeah, Comrade Shola Fayemi, go on. Unmute yourself, please. Comrade Shola Fayemi. Okay. We quite a few people are struggling with connection issues here, so and we need to really move fast. So I'm just going to go to all those whose connections are very okay, So, Comrade Tolu Fawole, Tolu, can we have your say on this? Let's have your contribution on this. Okay. So doctor, let me come back to you. We're really taking a lot of time on connections that appear to be dodgy. Da Silva, Ayole Olayinka, you go on. Yes, that's fine. Go on. Yeah, go on, please. Go on. Yeah, go on, please. Ayole Olayinka, you go on, please. Go on. Good evening.
From the little I can see, I'm one of those that never give up on Nigeria. I still believe there's hope in this country. But it's going to take a real sacrifice from each and every one of us. All hands must be on deck for us to achieve what we want to achieve. Then the speaker talked about mental illness. Sincerely, that's a great issue now. Like I was telling a friend something, I said almost everybody, almost let's say 50% or 70% Nigerians are mentally
The meeting started at 7 p.m. with the opening prayer and fast.
People hardly understand what is right. They hardly differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. So I don't know if Dr. Oyewole can really find a way to maybe to at least to tell us why we find ourselves in this situation. Because look at our youth today. They want to write it. They want to build houses. Why not work? Why do we find ourselves? How do we get out of this? Because we must need to put the starting from the next generation coming. So I don't know if you can do justice to this. That's my question. But I enjoyed the lecture, so I want to listen more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Adeoye Oyewole. I really, really appreciate those those. You're usually very deep the way you come with questions and certain things, you know. So let me see, is Tolu Fawole, is our connection okay now, or Shola Fayemi, any one of them, and Da Silva as well. Any one of you, if your connections are okay, because I saw you signify, but oh, okay. Let Shola Fayemi go first, then we go to Tolu after you. So Shola, Tolu, if you just hold on, let the Secgen go first. Secgen, you go first, and then we take Tolu next. Secgen, go on. So much. I'm going to take Tolu and then maybe one or two other persons, and then get Dr. Oyewole to come on again, because I don't want him to except doctor prefers to respond per person. Doctor, what is your preference, sir? Do you prefer responding per person, or we should just aggregate it?
No, I'm actually enjoying
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
why I need this knowledge. Why is that? As soon as people get into position of authority, just become
Hmm.
there's a provision for it in our culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why is that they don't behave like this? If they go abroad,
Hmm.
abroad has another culture that does not permit it, zero tolerance for it.
Hmm.
How did they evolve it? They put our culture on the table, they interrogated it, and said this thing cannot continue like this.
Hmm.
Here, they know that when they come back here, it's permitted.
Hmm. Hmm.
And there are a lot of facilities in our culture that can excuse them. So, for me, how we're going to put that culture, which is not easy, it's my own problem now.
Hmm.
So there's a software, it's not demon, it's not personal demon, it's not a spirit. That's spirit. It's not anything. And there's a lot of knowledge in Africa. It's not really this job. Don't lose to another than they have killed so many girls. Somebody said there's so many people in Africa. I said, no. Our brain has frozen at a level. And there's a level at beyond which you cannot reach. So it's not demonic. Like this Jonathan Goodluck's spokesman was saying. So there's a devil in our soul. There's no devil. A lot of people are around us, really people who want to share loot. That's not what I'm saying. And some people are also hiding the present away and making it difficult for others to go in. So the whole atmosphere is charged. I mean, if you go to an average governor, then the commissioners, when they're talking to, like you're talking to God. So that's how you're talking to. How can you now? You are commissioned to take charge of a ministry. That man does not know, but that's how you are commissioned. And then when it comes to ministry, you almost gently talking to him. So how are you going to challenge him? How are you going to tell him what to be done? That culture, I don't understand. If the commissioner comes and doesn't do that, let me tell you, you cannot spend more than 6 months with him. In fact, some people around him say he's very arrogant. He's always arguing with the government. He's not arguing. He's only trying to say, Mr. Commissioner, this is why you brought me here. This is my work. This thing you are saying may not work. This is what can work. You understand what I'm saying? We had this man, Professor Nico Irasokuti, even during military, you understand? He told Babangida that please give me free hand. You're not a doctor. You put me there. Let me do. And today, you can't have anyone as good. So for me, it's a serious demonic, not only demonic, mental problem. You know, people say demonic, no. It says blood, and we said blood, no. They say there's a lot of sacrifice, no. It's a mental problem. And there are problems. People can have mental problems in regions depending on how the culture accepts it. The culture will accept it. But when they use universal instruments, you know, there's still mental illness. It's called the culture bound syndrome. In Africa, we have mental illness when it comes to but it's not normal. What is happening is it normal? Even if it's our leaders, is it normal? We have so much money, pensioners are not paid. You know, the children of the pensioners are angry. They're angry. Let's not get back to Yahoo. And then starts. You see their parents teach them, don't steal money, don't do this. The support that those guys ended up or sunk, even in their little communities. It is these looters, when they get back to the community, who will be giving special chapter? The titles. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it your woman that is engineering that? Is it you colonialist? I don't get it. I don't agree. There's something fundamentally wrong here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Oyewole. Even the passion in your voice comes through when you're discussing this. Let's go to Tolufawole before we go back to Comrade Ekujumi. Tolufawole, let's have your say on this.
Okay,
good evening.
Very interesting conversation this time. Coincidentally, this issue came up yesterday. I'll quickly make a reference to this. A friend of mine came around and he's a UK citizen. And he just returned with his children from the UK. The wife stayed back and he had come to complain to me. And I asked him, why did you bring the children back in all fairness? And he said, oh, I wanted them to build character in Nigeria. And then I asked him, I said, which character? The one that tells them it's okay to bribe? Or the one that tells them to be inhumane when incidents like kidnapping and manslaughter happens? Or the one that tells them it's okay to look away when somebody is in trouble? or the one that tells them it's not okay to bear witness if you actually witness a crime. So what character did you bring them to Nigeria to learn? The one where you say one thing and what you are saying cannot save them in a crisis? The one where you are taught that, okay, this is how to handle an emergency, but the reality is different. Now, everything that we have said goes back to who are the leaders. You told, we always say that they told us education is the key. But by the time we got educated, they have changed the locks. And that's where we are back at. You keep telling the young ones, this is the way to go, this is how to go about it. It's good, you're talking, and they're listening. It's not that they don't know. I tell people, if you call the average Nigerian youth and you ask them, they know their right from their left, they know what is wrong, they know what is right. That is the reality. However, they will also tell you that this is what is working. What you said is right in another clime. But in this environment, this is what works. I made a post on my Facebook recently where I said, what the Western community calls a personality disorder is needed to survive in this country. Your ability to change, to become a chameleon, according, to change your personality according to your environment, it is essential in Nigeria. We don't consider it a disorder. Because when I'm in front of a politician, I need to be a yes person. When I'm in front of kids, I need to say the right thing. Like he was making reference to, if you're an advisor to a politician, how many of you can stand in front of a politician and look them in the face and say, Oga, that decision you made is wrong, we're going to backfire. This is the way we should handle this thing. No, we don't. We keep saying yes, sir, yes, sir. They tell you to jump, you say how high, knowing fully well that you can't even, you are limping. Till we really get to the point where we can look our leaders in the face and hold them accountable. Not just holding them accountable, but also be able to make sure there is a penalty for good behavior and bad behavior. Right now, there's a different word for bad behavior. So you cannot explain why you want a child to be on good behavior when you can see that
once again, I pray that we have a smooth meeting.
So I think the conversation should shift to how we can fix this. I think it's almost every week. We know the problem. How do we fix it? We identify that we know what is right. Nigerians will be the first to give you a good documentation of the problems and the available solutions. What I never see is how we're going to implement, how we're going to link the problem identification to actually implementing the solution. I never see that. When there's a crisis, we come up with a committee and another committee and another committee, and by the time four committees are done, we're forgetting the problem. This cycle needs to stop because on every issue that you come up with, be it healthcare, be it information, be it education, it's always the same thing. The good guys get jumped about, the good guys get backstabbed, the good guys get dropped off. While the obvious incompetent guys keep going up. Why? There's an issue straight from within our constitution. There's always something contradicting itself. Okay, you said they need NIN to apply for JAM, and then you said the requirement is 15 years old. And then we go to apply for NIN and we don't actually need to present our birth certificate. So at the NIN office, everybody is 16 and 18 years old. I don't need to prove it. And it's the NIN I'm going to use to validate JAM. So, well, we're all just applying freshly. Every JAM student this year is going to be 16 years old. It doesn't matter what their birth certificate says. They can go and swear an affidavit and that's the end of that. That is the system that you think would work. What did you just do with that child? So, I saw another issue with this same JAM. These are the youth we are talking about. Parents cannot come to the center. Okay, I said something. Is JAM going to secure those children, go and come back? Or in this era of insecurity, a parent is supposed to comfortably drop a child who has probably never left the house alone before and, somehow find a way for that child to come back home miraculously. We've come up with these policies and I wonder where we are thinking about them from. We definitely can't be using our head. So till we are ready to, have an implementation factor, a step-by-step action. I don't think, like I always say, I don't think we're ready for the discussion.
Wow, Tolu, thank you so much. That was impassioned. So that was really that was deep, straight to the heart of the matter. And I love those analogies you made about different scenarios, and also that family that came back from abroad and everything. So it's it's something that every one of us Nigerians, those of us who are Nigerians, we keep. When you scratch the head, you keep scratching, and there's a Yoruba proverb, which went like literally translated, looking up to the sky is just in vain. There's no answer just by looking up, something like that. So I'm just gonna go to one or two other people and then go back to Dr. Adeoye Oyewole. I love Prince Ugochukwu Oji Austin. Is your connection okay now? I realized that he had to go out because he just couldn't talk. Prince Austin, is your connection okay now? Oh, okay. You're most welcome. Glad to have you here.
We have a fundamental issue that boils down to the foundation. What we have are rulers, not leaders. And this has been on for ages. And that is why, just like you said, the younger ones that are coming up now have seen what is happening. So they just look at it. Why will I continue in this very way? You are telling me that this is the right thing to do. But for us, when I do that, what is the reward for that? Just recently, one of the government in the northern part of Nigeria sacked his special advisor just for telling him the truth that Boko Haram are killing people, and he decided to sack the person. So if someone else is in that shoe, you would rather just tell the governor what he wants to hear than telling him the truth. And that is a fundamental issue that we are talking about. Not until when we start having a kind of regime in our cultural system, which has really affected the way we reason, the way we do things, I don't think we'll be able to get out of this. It's just a simple solution. Dr. Oyewole has really set it up, and most of the countries are also turning in the same direction. We just need cultural engineering and rethinking in this very country. Thank you very much, my convener.
Thank you so much, Austin. How is Just today? Hope Just is peaceful now. Plateau State, is it okay now?
Yeah, just as peaceful.
Oh, that's good. So happy to hear that, and it's so nice, so refreshing hearing from you, because you're one of the few detribalized Nigerians, originally from well, your parents are from the east. You lived almost all your life in the west in Ogun State, and then now you live in the middle belt. Well, some people call it the north. So glad having you with us. But when you hear people say, they say it's one north. There's only one north. So it's such a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much for those expressed opinions. So before I go back to Dr. Adeoye Oyewole, let me go Da Silva. Da Silva and Kenny Okunuga, do you want to say a few things about this? Da Silva? Da Silva or Kenny Okunuga, if their connections are okay. But if it's not okay, then we go back to Bisola Oshagbemi. Bisola Oshagbemi. Okay, I'm not sure our connection is holding up. So, Doctor, okay, yeah, we can hear. Finally, miracles happen. I know. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. We can hear you loud and clear. Hmm. Hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go on. Please go on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a very pertinent question. I'm going to go back to Dr. Oyewole now. That's been a lot that people have said, and also I love this question from Bisola. Is look, how are we going to do this? How are we going to ensure that others hear this message? Now, absolutely. Absolutely. You're correct. We'll just keep talking about it. And I always say to people at times that even my grandma who is unlettered in the village, if you ask her about the problems of Nigeria, she can probably analyze quite a lot of it. It's the solutions that we need to start talking about, like Bisola said. And that is why I'm particularly interested in Dr. Oyewole's theory. Because when you talk about the cultural theory, all of a sudden it sets you thinking. The fact is, all through the years I went to school, I can't really remember doing a course or anybody talking about cultural theory. Cultural theory is not discussed in church. The motivational speakers, I've hardly ever heard any one of them talk about cultural theory. The political scientists who try to give us a solution out of the problems of Nigeria, I've not heard of cultural theory. I've not heard it from even the anthropologist as well. So the sociologist. So for me, it is it is really timely, and I'm hoping that beyond actually discussing on this forum, that Dr. Ayewole actually considers, actually putting together a book on this, so that, millions of Nigerians, not just Nigerians, people from other countries around the world as well, can actually have a peep in this as to how this actually defines the behavior of citizens, as to how it defines the way of a people, as to how it defines, the direction that a country or an organization travels over time. So Dr. Oyewole, let me come back to you, sir.
My brother, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know business
Hmm.
organizations
If you want to come somewhere, come on. If you want to open the door.
and people who work in different companies can
Hmm.
how they are governed differently.
Absolutely.
And just like Yola is a business person, really thinking of the business model.
Just quickly run down to the
Hmm.
And since
these are some of the exercises that we incurred in the year under review.
like you said, Mr. Commentator, that look at our politicians. Not many of them have identified this as a huge problem. You know why? The day they identify it, that's the day it's going to erode them of their capacity to scale.
Hmm.
Because, like I gave the example of somebody who is mentally ill. At the point that somebody gets mentally ill, we can run up and down, let's back home to the same thing that caused the mental illness. I don't know whether you're following me. This is what made me to think of the cultural theory. You see, ICPC, all the IC everything, Nigerians have also leveraged on culture to be able to sidetrack all of that. But if you sit there and say, okay, what is it that is making us to steal and not get punished? Like Madam spoke about, somebody spoke, I think about two speakers before now, that somebody came from the youth and said, when you want the person to come and learn here, I think the man wants the person to also be able to, the children to also be able to express themselves better. That in an environment where you're accountable there. It's not, I mean, let's see what happened in America. It's not that they are also different human beings from us, they are greedy too. They want to steal. The politicians there too want to amass wealth. But the society said, we are not going to continue to operate a culture that makes it easy for anybody. We need to get to a point at which both the leaders and the led will say, please, enough is enough. We are going to self-destruct.
Absolutely.
Look at where Nigeria is today. We need to come up with a culture that makes it difficult, very extremely difficult for those that are leading to steal. It could be a debate. What can we do about it? But you know, we can such discussions crop up even in the National Assembly. People begin to leverage on loopholes in our culture. We all know it's not good. That would be embarrassing. How will you say somebody who has led before will now go to jail? But we have had former leaders going to jail in other countries. How did they get there? I don't know. So I think it has to start with us in our own sphere of influence. In our homes, are we leading our families with cultural software? Or we are being pragmatic and facing the issues? You know, when it comes to family, how are we raising our children? Our children, one of those children who also leverage on the loopholes in the system. It will amaze you how parents loiter around JAMB exams, WAEC exams, to bring expo. I'm not talking about politicians in Abuja. It's amazing. So it's ingrained. It's amazing that even in our churches, I'm a Christian, so I'm at liberty to use that example.
Absolutely.
Postings of pastor, how it has become politics, how people collect money on behalf of others and they cannot separate the money that is meant for the GO and the money that is meant for the church. And the man wants to muzzle everything. I'm talking of a man who is supernatural now. The man of God is supernatural. So we don't have it coming from somewhere. Go to the university when they are fighting for, I'm an academic, when they are fighting for vice chancellorship. It's no longer of merit. The kind of dirty politics that go on, but even at times violent. So you wonder, where is this thing going to come from? So the change must have to come from somewhere. And for me, I think individuals may need to begin to, in their spheres of influence, begin to talk about this culture thing. How does this culture help us? It's not just assuming culture is all good.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm saying that no culture is bad. People interrogate their cultures, chunk out the bad one, and then bring out good ones they learn in other places. But Africans are so proud. They want to preserve their culture at all costs and begin to argue that their culture is the best. Let us know. Are you getting my point, sir?
Yes, sir.
We go defensive. My own culture is better. We should sit down. Look at the one that is bad and the one that is good in our culture, even in our communities. How many of us go back to our communities and interrogate what people are doing there? There are some old men in the community there who are not educated, who are oppressing other people there. You'll be shocked. And yet we go there and they want to harass us because of money and all that. We should be able to stand up. I mean, without being arrogant, let's think about it. How far has this helped us? As a matter of fact, it's the Oyinbo that even helped us. The killing of twins. The democracy helped to tame a lot of the excesses of elitism. The African elite, even before the Igbo king. So for me, individuals we must resolve. This your program may begin to come on beyond the social media. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
We form groups.
Yes, sir.
That will have to interrogate issues.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
Maybe secondary school. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Maybe people who are good at pushing things.
Yes, sir.
I have our culture and the liability. Inside our culture is religion. We leverage on it. People steal money from Abuja and they bring their 500 million to the church and we pray for them. Just tell me, respectable pastors explain how somebody can, and you make another call for people to bring 1 billion naira. That kind of a pastor should be arrested. What kind of work is anybody doing?
To earn that money, absolutely.
I mean, excuse me. These are things that are very unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And yet, we are accommodating. Makes sense. So how do we grow from there? So I think it's as personal and in our as self-influence, they know me in my own self-influence. Don't bring cultural this thing for me. Explain how it's going to help us. Tell me how it is useful, and then see how it's going to help the society. And that should be the watchword.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to come down to touch ground here in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't know how to touch ground, but somehow we should begin to engage and interrogate a lot of these issues. But for me, I know culture is the liability. It's not education, we are educated. It's not religion. We are very religious. We go to church. They say we should pray. We have to pray. Go to MFM, go to the DIM. Even my church, we cast out devils every time. So beyond all of that, we should begin to ask basic questions. So for me, sir, Mr. Commentator, that is what I think. And we need to talk down. We need to begin to act.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, and you're absolutely spot on.
And we need to be our problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oyewole. You're absolutely spot on that a lot of this has to be translated to boots on the ground, and to begin to discuss these things, to begin to work on this transformative journey, whereby, for me, I still find it very. I do know of a lady who once shared a story with me, and she said her mother, she's from one of the Middle Belt states, not Middle Belt, one of the Midwestern states in Nigeria, or West Africa, and she said the mom actually one day, kicked her out of the house, and what was her offense? Her own mother said to her, "This thing you have in between your legs, that you are keeping for one stupid man, quote unquote, in future, that all your mates, they're using it to become billionaires, and they're using it to transform their families and to transform their generations." That is a mother to her own child, that this thing you have within your leg, after a lot of disagreements, in fact, the lady alleged, of course, she didn't have proof, that the mom might have arranged rape for her, someone to rape her own mother. I think the whole idea was that, well, if you've lost your virginity, then this idea of keeping yourself for a man will not come up anymore, and that you go out there and go and make millions, go and make billions for your family, transform the fortunes of your family, just the same way, quote unquote, others have done it. And we also know that in many parts of that country, that, nobody asked you how you became rich. All of a sudden, when there was another one sharing a story with us and did say that, he went home for the New Yam Festival, and then all his mates, all of them who had, quote unquote, no verifiable source of income, came with SUVs, all those kind of things. And that he regretted even going home at that time, that they had to summon a family meeting. His father, his mother, his uncles were sat there, that if Lagos is unpleasant for you, pack your things and come back home, so that you can beg some of these your friends that have come back home to take you with them to whatever they are doing to make money, so that you will go and make it. What is really wrong with us? And sir, you keep talking in the context of this, you keep talking of the cultural software. Before we get the software can only be deployed to an appropriate hardware. We cannot take iOS and run it on an Android device. It won't work. We cannot take an Ubuntu device and go and run it on an iPhone. It's not going to work. So how do we prepare the hardware to take the software? And how do we even get the relevant cultural software that can help us to transform? How do we do this journey, sir? Dr. Oyewole, unmute, sir. Okay, I think his connection issues have started again, so we'll just wait for him to. But I'll go back to our audience again. Okay, yes, I'll go back to our audience again. To our Olani Imudashir. No, I believe his connection is not good. Da Silva, is your connection okay now? Da Silva. Okay, Mr. Sajjan, let's start with you again. Let's hear from you in this context. Let's discuss these issues.
Because what make a man not to absorb what he or she is doing to the wrong is a mental problem. What to make someone to, invest in that just some of money that people are having enough for three, four generations to keep that for them is madness. What to make someone to always adjust the wrong to the right is a mental issue. So what we are saying and what we are stressing at this matter of our leadership structure as the mental problem. And I think at this level, what we just need to ask Dr. on his back on this board is how do we now start with this mental balance, this mental displacement, and this mental issue that has eaten into our leadership structure. Because all of us are never falling fast. Because our leaders are always observed us.
Can you stop making noise here? Stop shouting. It's upstairs, Titi. Ha! Titi, when I'm having a meeting, respect it. Yeah, please proceed. Just go on, Comrade Ayole. Please go on. Comrade, yeah.
One thing I noticed is the spirit of fear. That's the major issue that I noticed with our people in everything. For example, I some while some years ago, I decided to go back into politics just to join them, see what is going on. So when I got there, I was added to some of their platforms. There's a particular man, a two-term as of rep, who was two-term commissioner. But this man, you can never point to his impact on the people he's leading. And he has followers. He has people praising him. The only thing he does is every year or after in 6 months, he just come. Okay, give them a paper, give two people, so there was a particular issue that came up on that forum. So I now use that to talk. I didn't mention it, but I was talking their leader. We have many of them, they are leaders on this platform. That there's been politics for years. No impact. They cannot point to a particular gathering that they have given result of truth. Are they telling us that even as a house of them, they never had one, or as a commissioner? There are many youths that are jobless, that are this. So I say, it generates a lot of issues there. But why I said the problem we have is spirit of fear was that I discovered that later on, many people were saying, you might have political ambition tomorrow. Those are one of the people that we sit down and decide. Not that we will not see. That's what most of us we keep quiet.
Oh my God.
We're having the fear of tomorrow I might need the help
Of this person.
So I now I said, one thing about me, I'm not ambitious in getting anything. I've told my God, the only thing I have in my life is fear to beg. If I can have my dreams and I can give my children a better education. Eventually, I have a political ambition tomorrow. And that man or any of them will not decide, but God will decide.
Absolutely.
So that is the fear we have. That is the reason why we cannot challenge them. And that is the reason why, because we only dream of tomorrow. And that is why we have many of them that get into political position because of the fear that when I leave this place after 4 years, the people around me help me. Can I go to anybody to seek for their assistance? They did not say, you as a commissioner, you have made a lot of money because everybody wants to live life. It's because we are dreaming, what we are dreaming of is even, let me put it that way, the mental illness that the man talks about, we have mental issues because we think of things that are not necessary. And that is why, even if you go outside Nigeria, I've not been there before, but at least we hear what is happening there. Many of them, they don't believe in having forecasts, they don't believe in having houses here and there. But they believe in having their 3 square meals and basic necessities of life, having access to them. And that is the issue we have. Until we conquer that spirit of fear and greediness, then with this nation we can move forward. That's my little contribution, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade Ayole. Let's check with, you're absolutely spot on. And it does worry me in Nigeria as well. And not just in Nigeria, but these things happen around the world as well. We have the concept of the good thief and the bad thief. If the person who steals is from our tribe, is of our religious stock, and at times from our state, from our village, from our own towns, that person is being persecuted. I say this all the time. That person is a good person to us, quote and unquote. Not minding the fact that there is evidence that this person, even when there's no evidence, what is wrong in investigating, getting the person investigated? They say, if you have those, if you don't own a cupboard, you won't be afraid of a skeleton. Because if you don't have a cupboard, you can't store skeletons in that cupboard. So if you have no cupboard, you won't even be afraid. But the same people, when someone from another tribe or of another religion or from another village, another state steals, we want that person to be prosecuted. And if the government, in their political correctness, if it's their person and they're refusing to move, we start shouting. But we are the same people who previously, proud to that, actually, told the same government to back off and not investigate someone from our background. So it is something we need to really think of very, very seriously. And how many of us as well, would actually favor people. I've seen several people who complain about nepotism, quote and unquote, relating to the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and that is a fact that in so many walks of life, if he says, well, he's going for the best people, well, the best people cannot necessarily come from the same part of the country or belong to the same religion. But having said that, a lot of those who accuse him, you see yourself having a small place and you have the chance to put numbers in a forum or in an organization or in a place, and it is people from your own place. You crowd the place, that local government, that little position you have, you use it to bring, and then later you turn around to accuse those in government. For me, and that is why I was asking Dr. Oyewole about talking about the software. Yes, is the hardware ready to accept it? You cannot put an Android 10, you cannot install it on, and let's say, a Philips phone that was produced in year 2000. It will not work. So we're talking about the appropriateness of the cultural software, as well as the readiness and the appropriateness as well of the hardware to accept that software. Dr. Oyewole, is your connection okay now, sir? Hello, Dr. Oyewole. I think, okay, yes. Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now, sir. We can hear you now, sir. Okay.
I wonder where they started from. Yes, and they started building the way they build. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Someone that without master plan, some people who have stayed abroad before, and they dismantle the thing. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, they try to do that in the UK.
Yes,
They
sir.
won't do that in America.
Yes, sir.
So what gives me the audacity to do it? And I won't do it in other place.
Absolutely.
Because built into our culture is the facilities to break those rules. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So the question is that how many of us in our own little sphere of influence, in our professional calling, in our family, in our community, in our churches, it's also in the church. You understand? It's in the mosque.
Yes, sir.
I also try to ensure that we get leadership to understand this cultural dynamic and to interrogate it.
Yes, sir.
Apart from violent physical abuse, because that's what we voted Buhari because we felt it's a little different. People will say he got overwhelmed. He couldn't get overwhelmed. I think that is philosophy.
Absolutely.
If he understands it, look at Awolowo. Awolowo recognized the nature of some of these problems, and he started reading. If you read his biography,
Okay, Dr. Oyewole's connection I think is gone again. Wow.
that people will when they give me money, oh, I see him and then I go for him. The culture is not
Okay, I think doctor's connection is really, really not holding up at all. So we'll just wait for him to reconnect it. Okay.
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you now. We lost you there for a while, but we can hear you now, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
that I think from our own sphere of influence to begin to interrogate it in our lives. How are we bringing up our children? How are we governing our family? Where I work? Which kind of a doctor am I? You understand? Which kind of an academic am I? Which kind of a business person am I? I'm not talking of being a religious figure. I'm saying let's see how we can be fair. I mean, even like you mentioned the other time, in our own little association that you and I belong to, some people can do that. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, that's how I also came out. That is unfair. What the other group of people who are older than us did is wrong.
Hmm.
One of them called me this evening, which means that when you speak out at times too, and you know that it is not for personal reasons, they also then come with you.
Absolutely.
You
Yes, sir.
I want you to have an impact. Oftentimes, because of our own greed and selfishness, we prefer to leverage on the medical aspect of our cultures rather than the one that will help us. And actually, this is my own submission. I've actually been blessed the way people spoke today, you know, which means somehow too, a lot of people have been thinking, why are we like this? You know, it is a kind of illness, a kind of illness, you know, because how can you explain us having that amount of money and producing in Nigeria with this level of infrastructural deficit? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not normal, isn't it? Something went wrong with us. So the earlier we begin to stimulate discussions like this, rather than pointing at different fingers,
Yes, sir.
the people are done. They are not any better than PDP. So this is the time for us to begin to say, let's rethink leadership. What is leadership? Our leadership dropped from the level of our level down. It has been going down.
Absolutely.
The politician is sitting down and writing what he wants to do as political philosophy into books. How many of our leaders do that? How many of our leaders actually have books they write down? And they want to present to people even before they get there. How many of our leaders have done that? So these are issues. Go to churches, people own properties, and they want to usurp the property and say it's not the people that have contributed. That's also not good. Go to communities. Urbans will represent those ones who buy SUVs for them rather than intellectuals who come with these ideas now. You understand what I'm saying? And they give them choice
titles.
Titles. This money thing has been before at work, which needs to be interrogated.
Yeah.
Even when somebody says the quality of our leaders are behind educated, even people who are educated, professors, then one professor was for falsifying election results for this man in Cross River. The whole professor, a vice chancellor. So what are we talking? So all this education, it's not all this rubbish. We need to sit down and begin to interrogate whether you are Muslim or Christian. I don't know. I ask you, we all understand the universal law of fairness, universal law of justice. We have this responsibility to lead. We must not fail the people. What can we do that will help others?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know whether you get, but we begin to do it like religion, like another form of religion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You activists, come and bring this theory. Let's begin to interrogate it too. I hope Messi is still around, or he has gone. He's a comrade.
His connection has been very poor.
In Canada. I hope he's still joining us.
Hopefully we'll have time. We have two of you together again. Your friend in Canada, the comrade.
I think we need to talk. Let's talk about this culture. I want to interrogate about activism and all of that.
Okay.
We found out a lot of the activists when they leave the university, the politicians back them over and they just keep quiet. They can't talk again. Which is also part of our culture.
Absolutely. I can assure you, sir, by the grace of God, hopefully, subject to your availability, subject to your availability, and we'll look to get two of you together. You know, hopefully, sometime in May. You know, hopefully, maybe first or second weekend in May, if both of you are available, so we can have you at that time. Yes, sir.
I want to put it down as academic papers and publish them,
Mm.
how we can interrogate leadership in Africa. All I hear is how Europe underdevelop Africa, what are we? How political economy, I don't want to hear that. It's rubbish.
Mm.
Europe did not underdevelop Africa. Africans too are not blockheads.
Mm.
But that we are saying that there's something wrong with our own.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm. Thank you so much, Dr. Oyewole. Now, Tolu, I'm only gonna take two more contributions because we need to finish on the dot of 8 o'clock. Now, Tolu, I can see that you've written quite a lot there. Tolu, let's bring you back. That's fine. Let's have you, and then we'll probably take Prince Austin again, and that will be the end of it for today. Yeah. So,
I'm back.
yeah.
Yeah. I did literally bust into interrupt. Okay. Now this is the thing. For me, it's not really even about the certificate. It's about the fact that a lot of these certificate issues have come up in the people in power, where we are not even sure whether the qualification presented were ever even gotten. Which means you have people who probably do not know even the basics of governance in power. I'm giving a typical example of, like I said, somebody who didn't study government in secondary school, not to talk of higher institutions, is now in the legislative chamber making laws that he doesn't understand. What do you want him to do? You have at the state level, you have people who probably didn't go beyond primary, making life-changing decisions, life-impacting decisions. They do not understand the implication of the laws they are making. Now, that is for the South. I will take it to the other part of the country where, because of the quota system, the academic requirement is even lower. You have people who do not understand the other side in charge of decisions affecting everyone. You are bound to have all these tensions. Now, this particular issue goes back to our history. I like the fact that you mentioned that we continue to say the West did not develop the African country enough. What development exactly are we talking about? They came here, they studied medicine in Africa. They studied engineering here. They came here, they studied our way of life. They basically just built on it. So what are we doing? If at the end of the day, they talk about civilization, they talk about engineering, they talk about health, they talk about even education. They studied the systems right here in Africa. If you study even the history of Nigeria, democracy was identified as being practiced in the South when the white man came. So what are we talking about? These people came, they studied us, they built on what they learned from us. And then we stay there and we decide to call everything we do bad and wait on what the West is going to come and do. Please. We really, really need to wake up. Like you said, are we calling ourselves dollars if we are waiting for the West?
Wow, Tolu, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Tolu. Those are the kind of questions, but you also need to understand the mentality of every time there's a problem in Nigeria, every time there's a disagreement, you see people, they go on Twitter, on social media, they tag British High Commissioner, United Nations, and even those who are agitating for the Odua state and the Biafra state, basically every time you hear them, they go like, United Nations should come and conduct plebiscite, United States should come and divide us. And I'm just like, there's just something wrong with our psyche. There's really something wrong. Some people do not, some of us cannot grasp the very basic concepts of international relations, international diplomacy, sovereignty, and some people cannot even nationhood, so, and everything, must we get everything wrong as a people? And like Bisola said, we've got to go back to what Bisola said. I want all of us to go away tonight. We need to start thinking, how do we make this difference in our own spheres of influence? How do we start spreading this message out there that it is time for us to start thinking differently as a people? There was a former coach of a Nigerian football team that, everybody they carry his bag, they do everything. I was at a train station, one of the train stations in the United Kingdom, and the man was queuing for McDonald's. It was a long queue, and the man gently, respectfully Because nobody is going to sell him McDonald's if he did not join that queue that day. Nobody would have sold him the McDonald's. Out of respect and out of a sense of pity, myself and a friend, if an old schoolmate saw him, we said, this is you. And the man was high and mighty in Nigeria. So we said, you know what, sir, go and sit there. We'll join the queue on your behalf. So we queued for him. We took his place on the queue, it took us about another 10 minutes on that queue, standing. It was a very long queue. It was rush hour. Bought him the McDonald's, and then Burger King, and went to give it to him. But in our country, as long as that queue is, when the oga has come, in fact, it's the policemen that are the security aides of God that will go straight to the front, go straight to the till, and demand that oga be served immediately because oga cannot wait. So it is something, and I really think people say Nigerians there's something wrong. I don't think so. I think that is why we still need to also take it back. And that was why I was talking about the hardware, the country as well. Why is it that we get abroad, we behave ourselves? We go back home, we stop behaving. Even when we go abroad, once that locality is our own exclusive preserve, and we do not see people from other races there, like the white people and all those people who can actually see us in the midst of what we're doing, we start misbehaving. But once we live in a place where we know there are other people that can call the authorities to report us, we behave ourselves. So there's something. And why is it that Nigerians, if you're talking about the best surgeons, the neurosurgeons, and all those things around the world, the best engineers, Nigerians are among the top brackets? How come? What is wrong with us as a nation? So we need to, it is my challenge to us as we go away this evening to begin to interrogate these things, to begin to ask ourselves questions, begin to say, how can I make that change? Making that change in public when everybody can see you, that's not a change. That's not an effort at change. The real change is when nobody can see you in your private, in your room, in your closet, in that office where you could actually steal that money and nobody would trace it to you, where you actually know how you can actually sign the signature of the chief financial officer and nobody will know the difference. But you choose to make that choice that, you choose to make another decision that, I'm not going to do this. I am not going to soil my hand. These are some of the things. And we begin to treat, many parents in Nigeria, when they arrest their children for cultism, or the teachers send reports about the children back home, you see the parents coming to school, bursting to school angry. Some slap the teachers. We've heard of cases where people bring koboko, which is leather hard back from the animal, and they use it to beat the teachers. We've had cases where, they don't even want to hear your child is a cultist, he's just been involved in a killing spree, and they just don't want to hear. They want, so what the leaders of tomorrow that we're training, how are we training them? And let me also bring this. I know it's controversial, but let's touch on it. We also have cases where, our women complain at times. The men don't do this, they don't help in the kitchen, they don't do that, they don't. But then you see women, when they give birth, their boys, they start telling the boys, don't you know you're a boy? Don't do that. No. And when the sister is saying, why is he not helping me in the kitchen? Don't you know he's a boy? It's the role of girls to cook and to do this. And the boy is there, the boy is hearing. But the boy is going to be someone else's husband in future. And then when he becomes someone else's husband, he cannot help around the house, he cannot cook, he cannot do anything. The wife starts complaining, and then that same wife has another son and actually teaches the boy not to help the sisters in the kitchen. So I believe as a people, the solution to this problem is with us. And I believe quite a lot of times that we are actually at the cause of our problems. I want to thank everybody who has been on this call tonight. I want to thank our special guest. I want to appreciate everybody. Austin, were you trying to say something? Because I'll get my sergeant to give the vote of thanks now, and then we'll close it for today. Austin Oji. Okay, so let's just go to our section. I believe Prince Austin, if you okay, so I believe that's gone. So let's get the section to give us. Bisola, we want to appreciate you for joining us tonight. Oh, Austin, okay, you've unmuted now, so go on.
The writing, but the implementation of all what we have said is what most of us are looking forward to. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody once again. Want to appreciate you. I think our section is having connection issues. I've seen him in and out, in and out, in and out. So I'm just going to call on Ayole Olayinka to just give the vote of thanks on our behalf. And then we close the webinar for tonight. But next week we'll be here at the same time. Okay. I think the section is back. So Ayole, sorry, don't worry. We just let the section do it if it's back now. So basically next week, same time, 6 p.m. next Sunday, we'll be here again. So we'll call on the section to just quickly give us a vote of thanks, and then we close it for tonight. Mr. Section, over to you. Good evening.
For his consistent display in analyzing the land problem and most importantly, and by opening our hands and the need for all of us to come together in putting this nation on a good note. We sincerely appreciate you, sir. We as members of Plide, we cannot appreciate you enough for always spending your time and taking part everybody time and for always displaying passion for nation building. So we sincerely appreciate you. And at the same thing, I want to appreciate all our audience, social media audience, all the Adidas panels, and everyone who have always been taking up the time to be part of this meeting and a part of this debate. Because moving our nation forward. Sincerely appreciate and thank everyone for joining us. At the same time, I want to wish everybody a very wonderful week ahead as we continue different endeavors. And we should always bear in mind that we are expected to be the change that we should look out for in our society in every sense of our endeavors. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Bisola, we want to appreciate you for joining us. Bisola or Shagbemi, we shall be.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
And I just want to reiterate what I said. This platform that gives us information that channels us to think differently, I feel it should be amplified. Like they're online or Zoom via Zoom call, but these conversations that we have, it shouldn't just be limited to us. I think it's being recorded. I would love to see posts of these engaging discussions and comments on social media, on Facebook, and get more engagement from other people too. Because I've been blessed this evening, and I'm just like, it's just me and this. More people can be blessed with your discussions on your forum. Because the purpose of this kind of discussions here is for a change, and we all don't know who is listening or who might stumble on this and propagate that information forward.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is for the the convener. I like your program. I like what you're doing. Please amplify it. There'll be more so that we can have more engagement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bisola. I really appreciate that. And you speak to the heart of the matter, really. How to take the message out there, how to amplify it, how to spread it. And we will take every word that you've spoken, we'll take them on board. And I will also be calling on you at some point. Definitely, I can assure you of that. We love to see more of you. Thank you so much, Bisola. God bless you. And to everybody else who joined us, Dr. Comrade Kujumi, lecturer at Lagos State University. Dr. Adeoye Oyewole, consultant psychiatrist, LAUTECH, Osogbo, and all our in-house panelists. I believe we still have Da Silva, Prince Austin Ogochukwu, Oji, Tolufa Wole, and of course my Section who does most of the hard work in the background, Comrade Olayinka Lukman Ayole. Just want to appreciate each and every one of you. Comrade Mudashiru, all of you who have joined tonight. Alaji Tijani Fatai, it's been a pleasure having each and every one of you here. Have a fantastic week ahead. See you again 6 p.m. next Sunday. All the best. Bye.
We God give the families the opportunity to bear the loss and may their souls rest in peace. We also celebrated with members that attending fights, even with the challenging situation of the past year. I hope and pray for a better year and wish the incoming executives good luck as they take over. God bless you, Professor. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I've done that now. Thank you. I was trying to take a response to it for instruction. Then also thank you for your question. If you check your the date of the payment for the 100,000 for the from the was made in January 2021. The financial year for 2019 was closed in July when we had the ATM in July. It was the payment was captured in this year's report. We had a discussion between yourself and your state ambassador where all those 20 people account, if you check against their names, you will see that they have 10,000 against their names. It was discussed between myself and your state ambassador, right? In capturing their payment because it came in after the book was closed. And we cannot backdate payment because the books were already closed. The payment was made January 2021. That was right after that. I hope that explains that answers your question. Thank you, Mrs. Joyce. Okay, we move to the next item on the agenda. Please, if you have any set who wants to give their reports, any set who wants to give their reports. If you have any set coordinator or chapter or secretary that wants to give reports. So we move to the next item on the agenda, which is the corporate report on corporate. We have the things there. Nicola, yeah. Okay, Nicola, can you unmute taking us a while to re-authenticate the process of the registration of the cooperative that was done before. Because at the time that the cooperative was handed over to me, we found out that the website was no longer functional. So we had to trace all this. But the main issue right now is to authenticate with the Lagos State authorities. And due to the COVID-19 restrictions in their offices, with some level of officers not coming to work at when it's supposed to be, it's taking a while for them to reaffirm our positions with their authorities. So as soon as this is done, so the last time I spoke to them earlier in the week, the promise is going to be effected maybe next week. So as soon as this is cleared off the way, we can have the leeway to kickstart all the projects that we plan to roll out for the cooperative. And contributions hopefully would start to flow into the accounts by the end of May. We proposed the meeting by mid-May 2021 to kickstart all the projects. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go back to the thank you, Nicola. So we had some adjustments to the agenda, which is what we are going back to now, raised by Sunday at Reading. Okay, I have two members who raised up their hand. Oladege Olaleye, 1994 says, kindly speak.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I just wanted to give the update on the UK chapter, and I just wanted to acknowledge the selfless service of the effort that they've been led by Anthropologist, by Theologian, General Secretary of General Secretary of Adaris, Secretary of
Children, let's pray.
So many people considering lockdown because mental health, so it's been trying to work with everyone and make sure everyone's welfare is at the center of all that we have done. So we appreciate them. It's a privilege to usher in a new executive. So our current chair for the new tenure is Honorable Sunday Olukule of the 1982 set. Our vice chair is Honorable Kazim Odusi of the 1992 set. I am the General Secretary, Adeoye Oyewole, 1994 set. Our Assistant General Secretary is Honorable Adeoye Oyewole of 1997 set. We have our Treasurer in Honorable Yemi Macaulay of the 1993 set. And our indefatigable Social Secretary remains Honorable Taiwo Ajala of the 1992 set. We have appointed new set ambassadors as well, because as I said, the welfare is at the core of what
Come and take this stone.
Honorable Social Duty of 1988, Honorable Babatunde Ajayi of 1992, Honorable Mimi Ayobasho of 1996, Honorable Shehu Agbola of 97, Shehu Badare of 2000, Adekero Adedoja of 2004, our heroine, Honorable Adeoye of 1994, as the only female on the executive system, and Honorable Peter Akonbi of 1982 set. We hope that ushering a season of unity, of inclusion, of collaborations, and of engagement. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Dr.
It's because Jola is watching that, so I just want you to finish watching. It's almost finished, just a few minutes.
Thank you so much for the global segment. Thank you very much. I moved three motions to add to the items on the agenda. Now, the first one, which I believe we want to discuss, is regarding the discussion of POT letters. It turns out led to the suspension or the cancellation of the election that was meant for today. So what I want us to deliberate on to discuss is the ratification of these letters, or the annulment, or the cancellation, or the set aside of those letters. So if you're going to ratify it, then we believe that the suspension or the cancellation of the election will go as per the letter. But if we don't agree with it, if you feel Congress has the power to ratify, and we decide we refuse to ratify it, then we can set it aside, and then we can go back to status quo. So that is the first one which I want the House to discuss. Maybe we can discuss that before we move to the next other items that I proposed for discussion. Thank you.
Please, can we have someone second the motion? Please, can we have a member second the motion? Mr. Olakomi Aroshegbe, kindly unmute yourself.
Hi, Olakomi Aroshegbe of the 1993 sets. Second the motion to set aside or ratify the letters emanating from the BOT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will have comments from other members. Can I have Mr. Larry Abodere? Mr. Larry Abodere. Kindly unmute.
I, Olariwaju Abdul, second that motion as well, that we should follow what Senior Sunday Adeoye has recommended. So let's have discussion on that.
Thank you. So can we have the discussions now? Adeoye, kindly unmute yourself now.
I actually was going to ask about the second point on the agenda. But yes, let's have this discussion. Because personally, I don't see why the BOT had to do that and why they had to do that at the last minute. So I would recommend that we take it aside. Constitutionally, it was wrong. They had no stand on. I mean, well, maybe they could have sent a letter. I guess it's now time for us to all agree with that. We want it to go. I vote to go. Then we set it aside.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask Mr. Yomi Family to speak. Thank you.
Yes, can you hear me? Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Good evening, everybody. My name is Yomi Family. I'm based on the motion of setting aside different bills and let everyone based on the constitution and based on the contribution of the chairperson of the electoral committee that the BOT does not have power. So I support the motion that indeed we should set aside that decision because what I'm not saying to set aside that decision, what I'm saying is that we should condemn that action because it's an illegal action. The electoral committee chairman clearly said it was illegal. They did not have those powers. So it's not about setting aside. Setting aside assumes something was done right that you want to stop. No. I think the Congress should condemn the action and then declare it illegal and should not have any water. Arising from there, is for us therefore to say that we have empowered the electoral committee to conduct an election in the next 7 days, and we have a new election by next week. So there are two things that my contribution to it is that one, we're not just setting aside, we will condemn the action and say it is not the appropriate thing that should have been done based on the advice of the electoral committee that was appointed by the executive. That's the first thing. Secondly is to say we disregard it and it should never happen. And then the third part of this is to now empower the electoral committee that was appointed by the executive. We know, of course, that they have resigned, but the executive have not accepted that position. So the third thing I want to say is that we should then empower them to conduct another election in the next 7 days. I believe the technology is available. I believe the resources are available to do an election between now and next Sunday. And by next Sunday latest, we have a new ESCO. And therefore, there's no need for any conversations around interim ESCO or whatever. But we must condemn the action, we must vacate what they have said, and this committee must be set up to do the work and get it done in 7 days. It's an election of less than 1,000 people. There are tools that can get this done in 72 hours if we want to do it done. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello. Okay, so I'll be calling on Oyewole. Please, if you are using iPhone, if you do not change your name, I will not call you because you have no name and no set. And I will also be unmuting the global vice president and the president. Global vice president. Yes, good evening, everyone. And thank you for how cordial the meeting has gone so far, despite the background coming to all of this. I just want to make a quick comment around the new agenda that has been set. First off, we've heard legal opinion from one side of the divide, whereby the electoral committee chairman has indicated that it was illegal or it is illegal what our deputy team has done. But I don't think we should rush to take a position to throw out whatever it is the beauty has done. There's a reason why we have a constitution. There's a process that needs to be followed. My recommendation would be, can we get, unfortunately, we don't have a legal advice. Maybe that's also something that the new executive needs to consider whenever that new executive comes into play. But it might be useful for us to get legal opinion on the best approach to take going forward. We can't come on the Congress and force our way to have another election in another 7 days. As nice as that would sound, we don't want to create a problem for whoever the incoming ESCO is going to be. There's no rush. Anytime these ESCOs come in, they have their 2 years to run. So my recommendation, let's take our time. Let's find out what is the legal implication of what has been done. How can we handle this such that whatever decision we take as a Congress, as a body, it stands the test of time, stands whatever is going to happen in case, God forbid, in case this ends up in some law court at the end of the day. That is one. Second bit, the electoral committee has put in their resignation. We will have to, again, after this meeting, there's no ESCO to either accept or reject that resignation. So I don't think it's that straightforward. It's something we also need now to consider. How do we take this going forward? As we speak now, we're not sure the direction we're going to take, but what we do know is that the current ESCO terminates at the end of this meeting. Would there be an interim ESCO? We need to agree that. Who's going to appoint the interim ESCO? We need to agree that. Is it something built in this? The reason why we have it built, maybe communication hasn't been the most acceptable way, but we need to get legal opinion before we take any decision because of the longevity of our association. By the way, I also believe that the BOT guys also have a stake in the association. So sometimes maybe we also need to step back. What are they trying to achieve? I don't think anyone will start something I want to destroy whatever it is this person. So please let's take a step back and decide collectively what works for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Global Vice President. While we are doing that, I've set up a tool just for the record so that we can keep it and send to you and hand over to the field. Kindly check and just launch the tool, which is like fitting, so you can either pick your support or against. Thank you. Can have, while we're having that done, then we can begin to, it will be on record that we did have a vote on that, and that can be recorded and transmitted to the right person. So next, I'll ask Mr. Adeoye Oyewole, kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. I just want to be clear about the motion so that we are properly guided. Is it as written? Because that says all letters. When we say all letters of the bill, is that really the spirit of the motion? Or there's something specific so that people are clear what they are taking a division on? It may not be out of place to ask for clarity. Then also, is he amending the motion, introducing the dimension of a condemnation? Or is that a separate motion? So that, like I said, there is clarity. And while we're taking that, I've also seen that there seems to be three legs. I don't know who the last speaker was, please forgive me. But the person seems to be suggesting take everything in view before you take one step and realize there's no landing for it. So I also want to encourage that look at the totality of the possible outcomes of taking